The place to begin with Dharma practice. Now, I have two main topics that I want to present as part of this short series. And the first being the particular practice that I feel is the easiest and the most result-oriented Dharma practice to begin with. And the second is how to go about finding a teacher to help guide us. So let's start with the practice itself, which is called reaction tonglen, or sometimes reaction toning. And then we'll look to finding a teacher in the next article. Now, I've written about this reaction tonglen practice many times and elsewhere, both in this blog and elsewhere. And below you will find a link to a variety of articles about it. The value of reaction tonglen, especially for those just starting out in Dharma practice, is several. For one, it's easy to do, and you can do it all day long, right while you're doing whatever else you have to do. It does not have to be scheduled into any part of your day. It's self-explanatory, which is a bit of a play on words, meaning that this practice reveals or explains the self continually every time you do it, and helps you to remove what needs to be removed and adds greater transparency to your sense of yourself as you go along. So in this regard, it truly is revelatory. It's a liberation. It's a liberating practice, and one with, the practice is pretty much instantaneous and seldom to never boring, because it happens in the very freshness of the present moment, where everything good happens. And I'm not saying it is some kind of perpetual motion machine, but it is self-fueling, and it provides its own energy in each reactive event that occurs. So it's not a drain on our resources, but in fact, it's liberating. If you want to see liberation in a bottle, so to speak, reaction tonglen provides just that. We can watch it happen in real time, and after only a short time of doing it, we get results. Each reactivity exchange, you'll find, if we do it properly, as mentioned, is liberating on the spot, meaning that it reveals our own fears and biases, plus at the very same time acts to lessen them. Since each reaction that we have touches us to the quick, there is little to no rote doing of anything using this practice, because it's touching to the quick is like getting a shock. We're awake. We're vividly awake. There is the electricity of our own reaction, our own cringing or microshock, wincing. It's becoming aware of our own reaction that I'm talking about here. Finding out or seeking or discovering what it is we're reacting to, and finally having it be crystal clear that each of our own reactions is 100% ours. I mean, if we want to get Pavlovian about it, we can say that a more concise and contained exchange I cannot imagine, because it's signed, sealed, and personally delivered by ourselves to ourselves in an airtight case that would stand up in any court of personal logic. So in other words, it is literally self-training personified. Over the last 40 years that I've practiced Dharma, I know of many, and have tried many other Dharma practices, but none is as direct, as immediate, or touching touching the quick in ourselves. Not to mention it's, self-recursive, self-fueling, as is this reactivity training. So down the road, if we can learn this method, reactivity Tonglen can be supplemented or supplanted by its big sister, which is called the standard Tonglen practice. But that would be for another blog. But starting out, this reactive Tonglen or reactivity toning goes from 0 to 60 quicker than any method that I am aware of. And I mentioned the standard Tonglen. Don't confuse the traditional Tonglen, which is often described as exchanging yourself for others, with reaction Tonglen, with the reaction Tonglen practice being presented here. They are two different practices, but in the same family. The traditional Tonglen practice, sending and receiving or exchanging yourself for others, is geared to working with dualism between ourself and the outside world. While reaction Tonglen, what I'm presenting here, is a variant. It's about working with dualism within our own self. The traditional Tonglen is part of what are called the preliminary practices, or lojong, while reaction Tonglen is preliminary to the preliminary practices, in my opinion. Reaction Tonglen is recommended to be mastered before we tackle some of the traditional practices like Tonglen, if possible. And the theory of it is simply that first we balance out ourself as far as our internal dualisms are concerned. And when that is done, we then balance ourselves as regards other people and the outside world. I'm not going to describe this practice in this recording because there would be little room for these comments, but you can easily find, I'll include a link here, which you'll see at the end of this video, to a number of articles about the practice, and there's different places that you can go. One is simply, you can go to dharmagrooves.com. One word, Dharma, D-H-A-R-M-A, grooves, G-R-O-O-V-E-S, no space between them, .com. And there are free books. One of it's called is I think something like, just Tonglen, or the Alchemy of Reaction. Now, over the years, there have been many official reactivity training machines put out there, some quite scientific, requiring a lot of hardware and whatnot. But here is one that takes no investment, uses no machine, is totally portable, continually spot on, and functions as much as we do. Try it out.